It's 3.9 degrees Celsius. Let's see what we have here. 19 degrees Celsius and 71% humidity. It's quite warm. We have two greenhouses here. One is well inflated, and the other is deflated. Both are operating at the same temperature. Let's measure the surface temperature. Look, our inflated film shows 3.9 degrees. The film is well inflated. Let's move on. Here, the film is less inflated. And it's 6 degrees. What have we measured? The colder the film's surface, the less heat we lose. So, when the surface is warmer, it loses more heat. And when it's colder outside, it loses less heat. A 3-degree difference is a significant heat loss for greenhouses like these. That's why when a greenhouse is well inflated, it retains heat much better. In a deflated greenhouse, you lose about 5% more heat. This way, you can estimate and compare different greenhouses in terms of their energy efficiency. You can buy a device like this in any store to measure temperature and thermal insulation. There's one more thing I want to show you. If we have high ventilation, the lower part should also be inflated to minimize heat loss. A lot of heat can be lost in these areas. If we're talking about the best design for winter growing in a film greenhouse, it's always a double film with overpressure. It retains heat much better. It saves about 5–7% on thermal insulation, which means about 10% on heating. Another point, the bottom of the greenhouse must be insulated, for example, with polystyrene. The film should go into the ground and act as a ground cover. 20–30 cm of the film should be either covered or buried. Why? When the snow starts to melt, the main thing is that it doesn't start to get inside the greenhouse and flood it. For a winter greenhouse, it's crucial that the roof shape allows snow to slide off easily and doesn't let it accumulate, creating a snow cap. See, it's also 3 degrees. The dome is well inflated. When the film is inflated, it retains heat well. People often ask about double film, which option is better, when one layer of film is between the arches or both layers are above the arches. The easiest way is when two films are thrown on at once, they are fastened with clips and springs. Then we install a small fan, which will consume about 150 watts of electricity per day. It will inflate our greenhouse, and the film will always be taut. When it's inflated, it's like a mattress, and snow slides off it very well. And in an inflated state, the film won't be beaten against the metal frame by gusts of wind and won't get micro damage. What's very important for a greenhouse is an airlock. We built this greenhouse in the summer. The airlock is 5 meters long and 10 meters wide. Here we have placed various equipment, tools, and everything you need for quick access to work in the greenhouse. Now let's go inside and talk more about winter greenhouses. What distinguishes a winter greenhouse from a seasonal one? It's that it should have all the necessary infrastructure. There should be a perfect microclimate here so that we can grow our products in optimal conditions and get the maximum yield. Look, it's 19 degrees Celsius and 71% humidity here. That's very good for greens. What equipment do we have here? There's heating. The fan heaters heat the air, and the radiators create a thermal curtain so that there's no cold from the sides. For a winter greenhouse to work well, we have polystyrene insulation all around the perimeter. The warmer the walls, the less heat we lose. The film is at 10 degrees. The warmer the inner walls, the less heat we lose. Here, the surface is 10 degrees, and outside it's 3 degrees. The film creates a 7-degree buffer. If we had a single-layer film, we would lose significantly more heat, about 60%. The thermal conductivity of a single film is 8.5 watts per square meter, and for a double film, it's 3.5 watts per square meter. For a winter greenhouse, we definitely need heating. Plus, we need fans to ensure constant air movement. The air shouldn't be stagnant. For winter cultivation, lighting is essential. Here, for salads, we have installed LED lights, and by the way, they can be adjusted. Lighting and heating are the most expensive equipment for a greenhouse. The greenhouse itself costs about 25%, heating 30%, lighting 40%, and watering only 5%. Because of this distribution, a winter greenhouse is about 3 times more expensive than a seasonal one. In return, we get a year-round plant that will produce products grown in ideal climatic conditions. Even in summer, we can create much better conditions here than outside. We are protected from temperature fluctuations, and thanks to the fogging system, we can significantly lower the temperature even on the hottest day. We have both side and top ventilation, which ensures air movement even when there is no wind outside. In summer, a good greenhouse will produce significantly better yields than open ground. And in winter, we get expensive products, but at the same time, there is very high demand for these products, and the products themselves are more expensive out of season. To grow in winter, you need a lot of land. For a small greenhouse, there will be very high costs for the greenhouse itself. In a large greenhouse, costs become lower because fewer people are needed to grow large volumes. These are the main points I wanted to tell you about growing in a winter greenhouse. On our channel, there are many videos on how to build a greenhouse, how to choose lighting, heating, and ventilation. Watch and subscribe, we always have something interesting. See you soon.